Hi, I'm David Stonier from Campey Turf Care. I've got our outside technician, David Jukes, here with me today. We're going to be going through some bits on these machines just here. This is our standard equipment package for the Grassroots football clubs. So we've got our Boomer 40, the Trimax Striker and the Sisis Quadraplay. Then we're going to be going through such things as coupling and uncoupling of the machines, general setup and general maintenance.
First we have the battery isolator. This will be switched off for storage and simply switch it on. Right, general engine checks. First off, open the bonnet. This is done simply, use the key in the hole. And there we go. First thing you see when you open the bonnet, coolant level. The tractor has been running. If the tractor's been running, you won't get a true reading. So from cold, this will either be at the high mark or between the two. Gauze in the radiator. After it's been used, this will collect grass. So simply undo this screw, pull out the gauze, bang it on the tyre, screen back in, screw back in. Then moving on to the engine oil. The dipstick will have white paint on it so you can identify it. Remove the dipstick, wipe the dipstick, back in again and check for your level. Another thing to keep an eye on and do a check, which isn't a daily check, is your fan belt tension. If this is loose, it causes the tractor to overheat, so that is something to keep an eye on. Moving around to the rear of the tractor, pre-start checks now. We have the transmission and hydraulic oil. This dipstick is also painted white so you can identify it. Remove the dipstick, wipe it, back in, remove it and check the level. Right, general grease points on this model of tractor. We have grease point on the steering ram, both ends, an axle pivot, front and back. At the rear of the tractor, we've got a grease point on your adjustable arm here. Also, point to grease is the threads on the top link. If you don't grease these, they'll wear out very quickly.
Okay, so we're now going to move on to the Striker 190. We're going to go through coupling the Striker to the tractor. We're going to go through general maintenance, pre-start checks like greasing and belt tension, and then we're going to show you the proper way to set the machine up to make sure it's working at its most optimum. Okay, so we're first just going to go through a brief overview of coupling the Trimax to the tractor. We've just left the machines a little bit further apart just so you can get a better understanding of what's actually involved with coupling the machines. So first of all, we normally start with the lower links and then the PTO and then the top link for connecting them. And then when you disconnect them, we're going to do it in the reverse order. So we're going to start with the top link first, then remove the PTO and then the lower links, all with the tractor turned off just for safety reasons. So the first thing that we normally do is get the lower link ball from the tractor and put it on the lower link pins on both sides of the Trimax. Once that's done, you're going to reverse the tractor so that this cup sits underneath the ball and then raise the arms so that the ball sits in that saddle. And then once that's done, you're going to latch the arms like this on both sides. and that's then the lower links coupled together. We're then going to move over to the PTO, and this is coupled to both ends with a 540 spline shaft. I'll just slide it apart first. So on the Trimax end, there's a button to release the lock. You line up the splines on the shaft together, and you'll just hear the button click in. That's coupled together. With the shaft slid together, you'll do this on both ends. And on the tractor end, on this particular PTO, it has a collar. So we're going to pull the collar back, slide it onto the splines, and then once it's in the right position, you'll hear the collar click in, and you can just on both sides give it a bit of a pull just to make sure that it is locked on. Whilst the PTO is off, it's worth just mentioning that on each end of the PTO there is a grease point here which lubricates the universal joint, and it's also worth mentioning that it's important to keep the actual shaft of the PTO greased as well. This allows the shaft to slide so that it's not putting any excess force on the gearbox, because if it can't slide it can put a force on the gearbox here and can potentially cause damage, so it's important to keep all parts of the PTO greased. So once the PTO has been attached, we're then going to move on to the top link. You're going to take it from the tractor, lower it down, and we're going to couple it to this top pin here. And on this particular machine, it's important that once connected, you adjust the top link and just make sure that these chains are left loose. And this allows the machine to float and travel over undulations. We'll just go through the whole process now so you can see it on the video. So we already covered greasing on the PTO, and we're now going to move to the only other grease point on the machine, and that's on either end of the roller bearings. So on each side, on all four corners, you can see there's a grease point, and it says apply 2 pumps of grease every 8 hours, or pretty much 2 pumps of grease daily if you're using it that much. So that on all four corners. We're now going to remove these 3 bolts from the front of the belt cover and the latches at the back. I'm going to go under here and we're going to go through belt tension. Okay, so now that we've taken the belt covers off, first thing we're going to do is just check the overall condition of the belts. We're going to make sure that they're not frayed or there's no cracks in them. And then once that's done and the belts are all okay, we're going to go towards the tension. So we're going to grab the belt, and just with a gentle bit of pressure, there should be roughly about 20 mils movement in the belt. If the belts are loose, it's just a simple case of loosening these 2 locking nuts, putting a spanner or a socket on this bolt here and applying a bit more tension, and then just check it, and once it's correct, you then tighten up the locking nuts again. We're going to do this for all the belts that are on here. Okay, so we're now going to go through setting the height of cut on the striker. When it comes to the height of cut, we're first going to start by loosening the locking bolt, and then we adjust it on these 2 nuts here. So you loosen this one down and make your adjustment on the top one. And the gauge is measured off the top of this square block. So at the minute, this is set to 40 millimeters height of cut. So you'd loosen the locking nut, adjust it to the correct height of cut here, and then lock it back off on here and make sure that these 2 nuts are pinched together as well. This ensures that it's locked into the place where you've set it. The scale is in millimeters and in inches, so you can have it set to whichever one you want. This process needs to be repeated on all 4 corners to make sure that the height of cut is even and consistent. Okay, so we're just going to go through a few of the fundamental setups when setting up the Trimax on a tractor. So on all tractors, on either side of the link arms, there should be 2 check chains, and these need to be tight with the machine in a central position. So the way to do that is to, once the machine's coupled up, stand at the back of the Trimax and look down the top link, and this should be central and straight in relation to both of these 2 linkage points. So if the machine's in the middle, we're then going to fit the pin or the thread, whatever way it locks off, we're going to make sure that both of them check chains are fitted and tight. And this is going to stop the machine from wandering from side to side. And the other adjustment is that at least on one of the lower link arms, on most tractors, we have an adjuster like this, and that will adjust both link arms independently. It's important to have that set correctly so that both sides of the machine lift up equally and not one before the other, because when the machine is lowered down, that could mean one side of the machine is operating at a slightly different height, and with a mower, that's very critical to keeping a consistent cut. So this one needs to be adjusted so that when the machine lifts up, it's equal on both sides. The other setting that we're going to go through is on the rate of drop, and this is controlled by a valve that's located underneath the seat in the cab. So we want that so that when the machine is being lowered down, it's not crashing to the ground and causing damage to the roller or the bearings. We're going to lock that valve off and slowly open it whilst lowering the arms, and you want to just make sure that the machine is lowering consistently and slowly to the ground. So we're just going to go through the correct way of actually engaging the PTO on the Trimax. So with the boomer, you would key on and start the engine, and then with the revs on low or idle, you're then going to engage the PTO, which is push down and twist on this switch. That's then going to supply drive through the PTO to the Trimax. It's important to engage this on low revs so that you're not going to send any sudden shock waves through the drive line. So it's important to engage that on low RPM. Once it's engaged, you're going to build the revs up with this handle here until the needle comes around and reaches 540. 540 is the optimum working RPM for the implement on the back. And then once you've done your work, it's best practice to, when you're turning the PTO off, bring the revs back down to idle and then turn the PTO off, which is just a case of pushing this switch here, and that is then the PTO disengaged. When using the machine, it's possible to turn with the implement lowered down and the PTO running to make your U-turn at the end of a run. If you're going to lift the machine up and out of the ground, then it's best practice to turn the PTO off first before you pick the machine up. And this way the PTO is not being run at too harsh of an angle, causing damage to the driveline. So we're now going to move on to the Sisis Quadraplay. We're just going to touch on coupling the machines to the tractor again. So similar as we went through before, we're going to take the lower link ball from the tractor, we're going to put it on the lower link pins on the Quadraplay. We're then going to reverse the tractor so that the arms sit underneath the balls, lift them up until it sits in the saddle and latch it into place. Same as before, we're going to start with the lower link and then we're going to move to the top link. On this one, it's all just ground driven, so there's no PTO. So then once we've got the top link connected to here, we're going to raise the machine off the ground and we're going to lift this leg. So just a case of unwinding this thread, lifting the leg up out of play and tightening it back up again. And then when we come to uncouple the machine, it's always important to make sure that the weight is on just the rear roller and the leg. So there's no weight on these spikes, on the tines or on the brush, as this could cause damage to them. So now that we've got the Quadraplay coupled to the tractor, the first thing just to do is to adjust the top link to make sure that the chassis of the machine is level. And then on the Quadraplay, we've got 4 options. You've got a spiker slitter at the front, a scarifying rake, a roller, and a brush at the rear. And to use them, it's just a case of removing the locking pin and then winding whichever one you want in and out of play by winding it up or down to put more or less pressure on that implement. It's possible to have more than one of these in play at once, and we just rotate it to lower them down. And it's important that whichever implement you have it equal on both sides. There are little tabs on the legs here as like a reference, so you could have 2 tabs showing this side. You would mirror that on the other side to make sure the machine is set correctly. And then once it's at the desired setting, put the locking pin back in and just snap it into place. And then it's just ground driven, so you just drive the tractor with the implement on the ground. And as we mentioned before, once you've finished operation, you want the weight to just be only on the roller and on the leg at the front. So you would wind the brush, the rake and the slitter up and out of play and have the weight of the machine only on the roller and the leg. So with the Sisis Quadraplay, the same as any 3-point mounted machine, we need to make sure that the machine is central and tight on the check chains to stop any like sideways swaying. And also that the machine is set on the arms that it lifts up nice and square so that the machine is operating evenly on the floor. Also, we may need to adjust the rate of drop because of the weight of this machine compared to other ones. So in a moment, we'll just adjust the rate of drop accordingly on the tractor and show you that on the video.